Hello, my beautiful listeners. Welcome to this episode of Chiquis and Chill. First and foremost, thank you so much for being here. And I hope you're having an amazing day. And if you're not, for whatever reason, make sure you just take a deep breath. Let's take one together, actually. Everything is going to be okay. We are here. There is no better place than the present. And talking about the present, that is something I talked about at my album release party. And that is what this episode is going to be all about. I'm not sure if you guys saw on social media, but I did have my album release party a few days ago, and it was wonderful. It was a lot better than I had anticipated, to be honest. I decided for it to be on a Wednesday because I was born on a Wednesday. I wanted it to be on the 19th because 1 + 9 is 10 and 10 = 1, which is new beginnings. So I had it all figured out. There was also a new moon that night. So everything was just aligned the way it has been with this album. I didn't know how I was going to start. I didn't know the songs, how I was going to write the songs that I had in my soul, but it's all just worked out so beautifully, and that's how the album release party was. I know there were a few people that were hurt that weren't invited, and I didn't do that intentionally. It just crept up so quickly that I don't know, I felt bad because I did receive a lot of messages afterwards, people that were having, I think, FOMO, and not only that, but they were hurt because they felt that they should have been there. But nonetheless, it was absolutely magical. That day, I got there at like 3 p.m. for sound check. I wanted it to be in an outside venue because this music just makes it feel very like I want to be connected to nature. So that was very difficult to find a place, especially in November where it's freaking cold. And mind you, it had been raining for like 5 days straight. Okay. And then the day before, the sun came out and it was supposed to rain that day. I had checked the forecast and it was going to rain every day except Wednesday. And I'm like, look at God, like every day, literally except Wednesday. And the rain stopped that Tuesday. It was a little cloudy, but the sun was starting to like peek through. And then Wednesday, after rain, the day is just freaking beautiful. Everything's clear. The sky was blue. The sun was so amazing. It was chilly, but it was just a beautiful, beautiful day. So to me, that was like, oh my gosh, God, you are so good, because I was a little scared for it to rain because I'm like, well, people don't want to be in the rain and it's an outside event, but it was a beautiful day. So anyway, I get to the venue because we had to do rehearsals. I had rehearsal the night before and I felt really good. I was telling my manager, Richard, that I felt different in the sense of, again, this was my first time performing these songs live in front of a crowd and live in general. But after our last rehearsal before the actual showcase, I was telling him that it felt different because I felt like I was a part of the band. Like it wasn't like my band and then me. It was like, it just was different because I feel very connected to like my actual banda, Abeja Reina Banda. But this was so different. I felt like I was in the music. And it just, I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but I just felt like I was a part of the music. The instruments and my voice were just so aligned. And it felt very different. I felt like I had a lot of soul space, like a lot of space to just sing without having to belt, without having to force it. It doesn't feel as exhausting. And again, this is not to hacerle el fuchi, to banda, because I love banda. It was like the most amazing school I could have ever had, because it's difficult to sing banda. There are so many instruments that your voice is basically competing with. And with this type of music, which we had the guitar, we had percussion, we had the bass, piano, and then my backup vocal and myself. it was just very spacey. And I was able to play with my voice. And it was just amazing. I was like, dude, I'm so excited. I'm so freaking excited to do this tomorrow. And it was a beautiful night. It was a beautiful rehearsal. We laughed. We connected so well, which to me is very important because if we're going to go on stage, it was my first time playing with these guys. I had just met them like a week before. And well, most of them. Anyway, it was a really nice night. We freaking at the studio, because we rehearsed at the studio, we had Chinese food and we were talking and just the connection was there. It was great. So I fell asleep in a really good mood. I woke up on Wednesday in a freaking amazing mood. I went outside. I did my whole prayer. I was like under the sun, like the whole thing. It was just great. I was so excited that day because I'm like, wow, this is it. This is the beginning of something new for me. And I can't wait. I took it very easy that day and I didn't go to the gym because I was like, I want to keep all my energy. I want to have as much energy as I possibly can for tonight. And so I took it very easy that morning. Finally got to sound check at 3:00. And of course, that's where I kind of started getting a little nervous because everything was supposed to be already set up for me. When I got there, the musicians were supposed to have their sound check and do their like line check with their instruments. But, shit happens. It's an outside event. The venue was in a residential area, which I didn't know because I just chose it through pictures and videos. Because I'm like, I knew it. I felt it in my heart. As soon as I saw it, I was like, this is it. But I didn't know that it was in a residential area. So we had to kind of keep the music at a certain level. So that was a little bit frustrating. So I got there and I was a little annoyed. And then things weren't flowing. So I didn't do my sound check until like 5:00. And mind you, the party started at 6. So I got there with I obviously wasn't ready. I was going to do hair and makeup there. So I just got hair and makeup. I was like, I'm not going to let this like bother me. Everything's going to be okay. Everything's working out the way it needs to work out. And that's okay. Finally did my sound check. Everything was amazing. I was like, okay, my in-ears sound good. Like we're freaking like, this is great. The place was looking phenomenal. I was so happy. And finally did my sound check. Again, it was good. Got ready and didn't come out until like maybe about 6:45, and people were already getting there. People were very punctual. People were not running on what I call Mexican time because you tell someone or you tell like a Latino, okay, be here at 6 and they end up getting there at 7. But a lot of people were running on time, which is really cool. I think people were just excited to get out of the house because it wasn't raining anymore. So that was really cool. It made me really happy. Dude, this whole thing was supposed to just be for 75 people and it was supposed to be something very small and intimate because in reality, it was an idea for my docufollow because my docufollow cameras were there. And I wanted to do this and show the people watching my docufollow that everything we had been working on that you guys will watch soon, it was all for this showcase, right? But then it just started growing. So from 75 people, it turned out to, I think, like 150 people were there. It was crazy. And I had only gotten the place for 120 people. So I just had to keep adding because people were like confirming at very last minute. That is a very Latino thing to do. People did not RSVP until the day of or the day before. I was like, oh my gosh, guys, you guys are stressing me out. But anyway, I was just happy that everyone was there. And I wanted there to be a lot of food. I was like, it's going to be cold. We need pozole. And it can't be just any pozole. It has to be from a particular place. And I want it to be pollo, chicken, red and green. I also want there to be champurrado and conchitas because, again, it's going to be cold outside and I want to make sure my guests are fine. We had hot dogs, guys. We had a matcha and coffee cart. We had permanent jewelry station, a juice bar, a fruit table. There were so many things, but that's like what I'm all about. Like if you're going to come over to my house, if I'm going to host, I'm going to make sure that you eat delicious. I love feeding people. I love going to restaurants and feeding people and showing them my favorite foods. Like that's why I have Foodie on the Go. Like it's really part of my love language is to feed people. And I'm like, people are going to be cold, but they're not going to be hungry. So that was amazing. I got so many compliments on the food. People were just so happy. And yeah, I think the only kind of thing that kind of threw me off was the level of the music that had to just be controlled because we were in a residential area. But other than that, everything was great. I was able to say hi to, I think, everyone. And that was very important to me. I thought for whatever reason, I was going to be able to enjoy the party a little more. And not that I didn't enjoy it, but I thought, okay, I'm going to be able to just dance and really, but no, I'm not kidding. I think I had two different outfits, of course. I I had my let me go out and say hello to everyone outfit and then my performance outfit. So to me, it was important. I was like, before I go on stage, I want to be able to tell everyone and say hello and thank everyone for being here personally. And you know what threw me off? A lot of people, like a lot of people were like, Chiquis, do you understand that artists don't usually do this? They are like, they come out, they say hi from afar and they do their thing and they're not really in the party. And you're coming around and saying hello to everyone. And to me, I'm like, oh, well, I guess I'm just Janae, and that this is important. I am so grateful that people came out on a Wednesday, as cold as it is, to come and listen to this new music that is very different. And I made sure that I said, hey, this is a soul and sound ceremony, a celebration. It's not like a party because when you put party, that means we're going to drink and freaking party. Like, yes, there was alcohol, there was an open bar, but it was more of like you're coming here to feel something, to heal some part of you. And so I needed to set that tone. And before I go any further, let me describe my outfit, okay? Because I was wearing a brown corduroy dress that was short in the front and had like ruffles at the end of it. In the back, it was long, and I had my little cowboy boots because I just feel like the cowboy boots still represent like banda and very much Chiquis. So I mixed the Chiquis and Janae, and I had like little turquoise necklace on. My hair was down. I felt very comfortable. Like that was important. I always have to feel comfortable because if I don't feel comfortable, you'll be able to tell. So people were loving that outfit. I had a little cute little belt that matched my necklace. The only thing that sucked is that I was only in that outfit for like, oh my gosh, like an hour, I think, an hour and a half. And that was me just saying hi to everyone. I wasn't really able to eat or drink or anything. I was just saying hi to everyone because a lot of people showed up, like more than I had expected. So after that, I was like, okay, I introduced a friend of mine, Gustavo Galindo, who I met at the writing camp for this album. And he's super talented and he does sound bowls and he plays the flute and he facilitated a lot of the healing work that we did every day at the writing camp. So I wanted to bring that vibe to the release party. I'm like, I want us to be all on the same frequency. So when I feel it, I'm going to go ahead and introduce you and you'll do that for about 10 minutes. And I wasn't able to hear it. I knew what he was going to do, but I wasn't able to experience it myself because I had to go get ready and change into like my performance outfit. So I was supposed to go up at 8 p.m. and everything was pushed back about 30 minutes or so. But when I introduced Gustavo, I let everyone know what the vibe was, that this is more of an experience. And I was like hoping that everyone was open to it. And from what I had experienced at the writing camps, he makes you do this thing of putting your hand over your heart. And really that brings you to being present. And everyone did it. I got a lot of different comments and feedback that people were like, dude, I don't know what happened, but the energy shifted. And we all were like there and present and connected in some way. And that's exactly what I wanted because we did that at the writing camp. And that was like my vision. And I was like, I don't know, but I need Gustavo to be here. I don't care how much he charges me, but this is the vibe. And I want to do this at my concerts as well, or at these shows. Cause again, it's a different vibe completely. So that's why I'm calling it the Alma de Luz experience, right? So I wanted to bring a little bit of that to the release party or to the release celebration, should I say. And people loved it from what I hear. I mean, again, I wasn't there, but they were telling me, oh, he made us put our hand over our heart and he was playing the flute and he had his sound bowls. And that was exactly what I wanted. And people loved it. Even people that have never had a sound bath or have never experienced a sound bath were like, dude, this is awesome. There's something here. So that made me really happy. And while that was going on, I was in my dressing room getting ready and changing. I put my outfits together. Actually, the first one, my stylist had already put together for me. He had already put it to the side for me. I just chose to wear it that night. But my performance outfit, I didn't know what I was going to wear until that day. I wanted to see how I was feeling that day. And again, I was so happy. I was dancing and I was like in my glam room, listening to the music and getting in the vibe. And I knew that I wanted something light. I knew that I wanted to be barefoot. Again, it's an outside venue. And I was a little worried. I was like, I don't want to get sick, but I was like, okay, I'm not going to call that upon myself. I'm just going to go with the vision. So I just had that in mind because obviously outfits look different when you have shoes or high heels or boots or not. And I was going to be barefoot. So I tried on so many different things. And the outfit I wore, I felt was very weirdly beautiful because I wore like a fringe top that was very loose with a fitted skirt that was similar. They were very similar in color. They were like a bone color, but they were very different. There was lace on the skirt, but somehow I made it work. I tucked it in. I was like, okay, I'm going to make like just show my waist a little bit because again, this is my first time performing this music and I need to be comfortable and I need to be able to move around. And that's exactly what I focused on. And when I first showed Kim, my assistant, the outfit, she's the only one that saw it before. I said, what do you think? And you should have seen Kim's face. She was like, well, she didn't like it. She was like, well, I don't know. Like the shirt's a little loose. Like maybe you need it. Like she wasn't really feeling it, but I was like, you know what? I'm feeling it and I need to trust it. I was like, look, Kim, I don't have my hair and makeup done right now. It's fine. You just have to trust me. She's like, yeah, it doesn't look bad, but it's not what I expected. I'm like, yeah. I was like, I get it. I was like, but it's what I love the most because my stylist wasn't available. He has some personal things going on right now that he had to tend to. So I put the outfit together and I took so many different jewelry pieces that I had in the closet. Cause again, I was like, I don't know. Like I just have this vision and I'm going to take everything I need to take and it'll work out. I was like, I'm only going to take this option for clothes because this is what I'm going to wear no matter what. Like I'm committing to this. This is what I'm committing to. And it worked out, guys. People really, really loved it. And I feel like now that I watch the videos, I'm like, wow, it was cute. Even like my hair, I had told my hair guy, I sent him, Tony Wonderhands is my hairstylist. And anyway, I sent him pictures the night before of what I wanted my hair to look like. I was like, dude, I know it's late, but can you get some type of string? I want like indigenous something in my hair, indigenous braids or something. And I only want it for the performance. So we only have 20 minutes to get it done. So he was super stressed out. I had just let him know the night before, but he got it done. And he got like these leather like strings, guys, that, oh my gosh, I didn't even want to take them off. Like almost looked like dreadlocks, but with string in my hair. And I wanted more, but there was only time for two. But I think like it worked out perfectly. And Richard, my manager, was very worried because he's like, it's cold. Your clothes seems to be very thin. And I didn't even tell him that I was going to walk out barefoot because I did. What I did was, I'm like, so I'm not completely barefoot. I got like nude socks. And then over the nude socks that were like kind of short, so you couldn't really see that they were long socks. They were short socks, like ankle socks. I put nylons over the socks. So I wasn't barefoot, but I could still feel the cold going through my feet. But I was like, I'm going to just not stress him out. I'm going to come out with like my little, they're called Rothy's, like little like slip-on shoes, just so he doesn't get nervous. So my whole vision was I wanted to have an entrance. I was like, okay, guys, I know this isn't like an actual show, but this is my first time performing these songs. And the first impression is everything. And I knew that there were going to be a lot of industry people and a lot of people that were curious. Even my friends were very curious to see the Janae side on stage because they've seen me as Chiquis. And even myself, I didn't know what I was going to do. I'm not a huge planner. I don't really like to plan what I'm going to say. Even on stage, I'm just like, I'm going to let just the moment speak for itself. And that always works out for me. But I knew that I wanted an entrance. And when I told Richard what I wanted, he's like, are you sure you want to pay just this amount of money for drummers to come in with you? And I'm like, yes, this is what I'm envisioning. And I think it's worth it. So I got what I wanted and I was so happy. The entrance I had was so awesome. I think people really liked it. And so basically I had two guys from Peru who I had just met that day, really nice guys. And I told them exactly what I wanted, that I wanted them to I wanted the DJ to be playing a song. And then all of a sudden it turns off. Like there's no announcement that I'm coming out, but like you hear the drums and the flute, because I love the flute. So Gustavo was playing the flute and I was hiding. And then whenever I felt it, I walked out and I kind of went through the two guys that were playing the drums. And that's where it started. And I sang all 5 songs because Richard only wanted me to sing 4. But I'm like, there are 5 songs on this album. I'm either going to sing 3 or 5 because 4 just doesn't feel right, And we went back and forth with that. But again, I was like, dude, I need to be very outspoken about this music because it means so much to me. It needs to be exactly what I want. And so he respected it and we did 5. We did the 5. The first song that I sang, which is Somos, was the last song we rehearsed because that was a song that was left out. There was a miscommunication, but either way, they learned it. And I was like, I want to start with this song because of the meaning behind it and what the song says. And I dedicated it to the crowd. I said, this is my dedication to you guys. Thank you for being here. And basically what the song says is this earth, this land is all of ours. It's not anyone's, but all of ours, and that's what basically the gist of the song is. And with everything going on in the world, I thought it would be a good way to start it. And it was awesome. And of course, things happen. And at first I was a little thrown off because I couldn't really hear my in-ears and they kept cracking. And I don't know what changed on the board, but it wasn't the sound that I had when I rehearsed. And it could have been not the engineer's fault, actually. It probably was just there are more people in the room and sound changes. So I wasn't getting the same feedback as far as sound goes in my ears that I was when there wasn't anyone there. So that's normal. It caught me off guard. So at first I was like, oh my gosh, everything's already so new. And then I just started getting a little bit more comfortable. The middle of the second song, I think, was when I started feeling very comfortable and people were singing and happy and the vibe was great. And just the stage with the tree over me, it was just a vibe, guys. It was even better, like I said, than I expected and than what I had envisioned. So I sang Somos, then Fenix, then Flores, then Good Morning, and then Pa Mi Gente. So I wanted to kind of leave the crowd on a high, and I think it worked out beautifully. And I got a lot of very, very great comments there. And then afterwards, and Richard and the team were like, we're so proud of you. And just felt really good because it's been a long time coming and it's still scary. It's still scary till this day. I still sometimes have doubts of okay, do I want to continue? Do I want to finish the second part of the album, which would come out in March? Because this is just an EP. This is just an introduction. And I'm like, yes, I have to finish what I started because the doubt comes in. And because we already have it all figured out with my banda music, that's just the easier way, to be honest. But I'm like, no, I don't want the easier way. I want this way. And this is what feels right. And I'm sure you guys can relate when you're starting something new or, stepping into something different. You have those doubts of, damn, is this really what I want to do? Because it takes work. It takes hard work. And I'm basically starting all over again, guys. Chiquis, I can do with my, eyes closed. But Janae, it's this is different. But then I'm I don't want to think about it too much because I know how I felt on stage. I know that I wanted more. And granted, in my head, it wasn't perfect. Maybe the people that were there didn't really realize it, but it wasn't perfect because, of course, with the cracking and everything, the songs are new. I was forgetting the lyrics. I forgot them 3 times, I think, on certain parts. It could have been the nerves. It could have been the cracking, the distraction. But I was very honest on stage. I was like, guys, thank you for being patient. This is my first time singing these songs live. And I'm so grateful that you guys are here and that you guys are listening. But that's just who I am. That's very Janae. I'm very just honest. And I had to because I was like, I'm pretty sure people can notice. But like in my head, I just did think it was going to be different, but it was perfectly imperfect. And I'm very, very proud of myself. And I'm so grateful with my band. And I want to go on tour. Like, I want to go on tour with this. The next day, I was exhausted. Um, but it was a different type of exhausted. I feel like I was, because I did take off my shoes. I forgot to tell you guys that part. So I did take off my shoes. Like when I walked out, I had my little slippers on and then I took them off midway and I left them in the middle of like whatever, I don't even remember where. And I went on stage barefoot. So the next day, I was feeling it a little bit in my throat. And I was like, okay, I'm feeling a little bit sick, but it could have also been just, it was a lot going on. I wasn't able to just sit down and eat and but I'm fine with that because for real, like I was very, very happy that all the people that I invited were there. So that made me really happy and I wanted to show my appreciation. But I was tired the next day. And I think that's when a little bit of the doubt came in, which is weird because I'm like, what is this? Like, I know how I felt yesterday. I know I'm getting such great feedback, but why am I feeling like this? And I think it was just the fact that I'm very hard on myself sometimes. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I could have done better. I could have done this. I should have practiced more. And all that starts coming in instead of just appreciating the good things. I focused on one little thing instead of like really focusing on, hey, all these people showed up. Everyone was happy. The feedback was great. Everyone said your voice sounded good. It sounded amazing. Why are you fixating on this little thing? Shit happens, Janae. So I kind of had to like talk my way through it and everything was better and I felt better. And I did get a little sick on Friday. I was in bed all day, but I fought it. I was like, no, take my vitamin C. And I was in bed most of the day on Friday, but I think my body just needed the rest. I think it was just such a high and then, the low and it was so drastic that I just needed to listen to my body and rest. And I did that and I felt a lot better. And I'm like, I just want to spend some time with myself because Emilio had to work. So I was in bed with the dogs and I was just like chilling, guys, big chilling. And I was able to like really think about the event and really focus on the good and the positive things. And I feel a lot better and I'm happy. I'm happy. This is new. And when something's new and it's unfamiliar, you feel and you doubt things. And that's what was happening. And I just wanted to share that with you guys because I know a lot of people saw it on social media. And again, like I mentioned in the beginning of the episode, there were people that were a little hurt that I didn't invite them and it wasn't intentional. It just, you forget, you know what I mean? Like I need to make a list of like, these are the people I need to invite to these events. That was another thing that brought me down a little bit because I did get messages from like people, oh, thanks for inviting me. And I'm like, dude, like and some of those people I haven't even responded to because it was just a little bit of disappointment a little bit because I get it, but I was like, dude, I'm sorry. Like it wasn't even intentional. Anyway, I've been praying about that of just showing me the people that are meant to be in my life and in this new vibe and who isn't. And it's just kind of showing for itself. But anyway, that's besides the point. The reason I wanted to talk about this because I wanted to talk about the experience and I got a lot of great feedback even on social media. So thank you guys for that. But also because I want you guys to know, like I always tell you, I'm just like you. I am not Superwoman. There are things and doubts and times that I question myself. But at the end of the day, when you know that you're doing things for the right reasons and your heart is in the right place and you know that what you want to do will help others, there will always be that thing, that energy, whatever you want to call it, of doubt and fear that try to tap into that place of light. It happens to me as well. And we just need to stay diligent and hold the line and know where we're going and why we're going there. And I even had to remind myself of that the next day. even after having a beautiful, wonderful, successful night, those doubts still came through and that fear. Because again, this is very new. And it's so new that it is starting all over and trying to find that audience that's into this. But I have a very good feeling. And I think something great is going to happen, not only for my career, but for the people that are going to choose to listen to this music and come to this experience of Alma de Luz, these concerts, these shows that I'm going to have. And it's going to be so big and so amazing that I'm going to look back at this moment and know, okay, now I get it. Now I know why I was feeling that way, because something out there, the energies that don't want this to happen, it starts seeping in. And I'm not saying there's like one person or someone doing some type of witchcraft. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is just, there's energy. There's good, there's bad, the yin, the yang, and I don't want to get too much into that, but that was my whole point. And that's why I wanted to share this. I wanted to obviously talk to you guys about how it was and my experience and the behind the scenes in a very intimate way here on my podcast, but also to let you guys know that at the end of the day, I am human. And just like you guys, I have days like that. And it's normal. And we need to be patient. And we need to learn not to be so hard on ourselves. And that was my lesson. I have to stop being so hard on myself and just enjoy the moment and enjoy the present. And I kept saying that night, like, there's no other time than the present. Like, that is the best gift. Es el presente, the present. It's in the word presence. Present, Anyway, let's just focus on the power of now, guys, and appreciate the good things. And we need to normalize celebrating ourselves and celebrating the good things and not fixating on one little bad thing, because that's always going to be there. There's going to be a lot of light, again, like the yin and the yang. There's always going to be a little bit of darkness or a little bit of sadness or a little bit of doubt and fear, but we can't let that take over all the beautiful, positive things that we have going on. So that was a reminder for myself, for you guys, and everyone that was there. Thank you. Everyone that watched the videos on social media, thank you so much, that left comments. For the people that are listening to the album and telling me that this music is changing them and making them feel something that have never felt before, that is confirmation for me. Like, you have no idea. So I'm so grateful, because I know that I'm meant to do this. I know that I'm meant to do this. And I have to go back to that place of, I know what I felt when this idea lit up my soul. It was an idea. It started off as an idea. Now it's here. It's a reality. So just tapping into that so that I can keep on going. And I can't wait for next year for you guys to listen to the full album that comes out in March. And hopefully the series of dates that we'll have with Alma de Luz Experience. So anywho, guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being interested in my life and what I have to say and in my music. I pray for you guys all the time. I wouldn't have a podcast if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you for coming back every week to listen. I'm very grateful. And I love you guys. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for being a part of my journey. I will catch you on the next episode of Chiquis and Chill, your favorite podcast. This is a production of iHeartRadio and the My Cultura Podcast Network. Follow us on Instagram at My Cultura Podcast and follow me, Chiquis, that's CHIQUIS. For more podcasts from iHeart, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast.